Good morning. Today I'm at the Wyre Forest and I'm here to do some bird photography. The Wyre Forest is a location where I've had some very mixed results in the past. I've come down here before. I've had instances where I've managed to find my key species, my target species, within 10 minutes. But on the other hand, I've also been down here on occasions where I've been walking around for 6 or 7 hours and really come across nothing. So this is a location which can go either way. Despite that, it is actually one of my favourite birding locations. You know, I don't know what it is about the forest, but I absolutely love it here. So I'm glad to be back. It's been around 4 or 5 weeks since I was last here. And on my last visit, I spent around 6 or 7 hours just sitting on the side of a river, photographing and videoing juvenile dippers, which was such an incredible experience. As for what we've got in store today, who knows? I'm just going to have a wander, have a little hike, and let's see what we can find. I've just had a really cool interaction with a pair of marsh tits. So walking down the path, I spotted a bit of movement, got the binos on it, and yeah, 2 of them sort of dotting around between all sort of undergrowth and sort of like light bushes. They're very small birds, very dainty birds, and they're very quick, so it can be really difficult to get some shots off. But I did manage to get a clip of one of them eating a caterpillar, which I think was really awesome. You know, they're incredibly beautiful birds, and I think they're kind of low in numbers these days. You know, I don't think they're breeding too well, but it's really cool to see that there's quite a stronghold here in the forest. I've just had eyes on with my first dipper of the day. Interestingly, it appeared to be a juvenile, so fingers crossed it was one of my guys from around 4 weeks ago. Anyway, it flew off upstream after watching it for about a minute or so. So I'm gonna walk on up and just see what else I can find. Hopefully I'll come across another one sometime soon. I don't know if I've ever seen a river this low. Usually, it's a bit of a pain in the arse crossing this little stretch, but currently, it is no issue whatsoever. Now, this did actually worry me a little bit because I figured with the rivers being so low, the dippers may fly on upstream to sort of deeper patches where they're not accessible to the likes of me. Luckily, however, that hasn't seemed to be the case, and so far, it seems to be going really well. I'm currently sat on the bend of this river because I'm hoping for a little dipper or some sort of wildlife to land on this little outcrop just here. Now, there have been a few grey wagtails sort of flowing about, and I have had a flyby from both a dipper and a kingfisher. So I'm hoping if I put in enough time and effort, hopefully one will land. Now, I say if I put in enough time, I am only planning on sitting here for around half an hour or so. So with any luck, something will show up in that time. as another kingfisher goes by. I ended up giving it around sort of like maybe half an hour, 45 minutes in this one little spot, this one little stretch, but unfortunately, no luck. You know, a couple of grey wags sort of sat on by for a little bit, but other than that, really wasn't too much, unfortunately. But that's okay, because there's always next time, and there's always another stretch of river. So, let's carry on going. I've well and truly hit the midday hump. So it's now noon. So most of birds and wildlife are protected in the canopies or just hiding from a midday sun. You know, they tend to be most active around sort of dusk and dawn. So this time of the day, it's not great, it's really not. You know, if I was next to a big old lake or a nature reserve, I might be all right, but for woodland photography, it's difficult. It is so insanely difficult. But to get around this, I need to come up with a game plan. What am I going to do? So I think going into the sort of main forest itself is a bit pointless. Everything's going to be really high up and I'm not really going to see much. So I think what I'm going to do is follow the river, because, you know, birds are still going to be coming to the water to drink. And just for the fact, it's a lot cooler down here as well. So I'm going to follow the river and hope I come across something cool. You know, you never know. I've got my fingers crossed. It's kind of how it really goes. You know, this is actual bird photography. This is actual bird watching. You can't always go out and expect to see something cool. You know, you're not always going to see an osprey or a white-tailed eagle. So let's go for a wander and let's see what we can find. So folks, I think this might be classed as my quietest trip to the forest ever. I gave it a good shot, but sometimes it's simply not meant to be. But that brings me on to this. Down below in the comments, please leave me your top tips for successful woodland wildlife photography, because I'd love to hear them, and Lord knows, I think I need to hear them. Anyway, with that, I just want to say thank you so much once again for joining me. Please like, comment, subscribe. See you later, folks.